Hi there, I'm Jamie Hanley, licensed professional counselor and yoga therapist, and I'm here to offer you another webinar today about coping with COVID anxiety. So, as we begin, I'd like you to find a good seat to center yourself. Bring one hand over your heart and one hand to your solar plexus. And just readjust so that you feel really comfortable. Feet on the ground, seat in your chair, maybe rest back against the back of your chair. If it's comfortable for you, you're welcome to close your eyes. If it's not comfortable, you're always welcome to keep your eyes open. So once you've settled in here, start to transition your mind to your breath. Feel the breath rise and fall beneath your hands. Feel more of the breath underneath the bottom hand so that you feel the diaphragm moving a little bit more. Relax your face, relax your shoulders. Take a few more breaths, letting the abdomen be soft and the diaphragm move freely. And take the next few long exhales out through your mouth. Long exhales. Last long exhale out your mouth. And then gently release your hands. Again, notice the feet on the ground, the seat in the chair. And what do you feel? Maybe even what do you hear? Really bringing yourself into this moment. You're going to become very present. And then slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back. So to begin today, I wanted to start off with the 5 ways to approach distress. This is based in dialectical behavior therapy. So we say that there are 5 different things you can do. You can solve the problem, which right now we're in a situation where we don't entirely have the power to solve the problem. We can do certain things within our power about the problem, like staying at home, minimizing our contact with other people, social distancing, minimizing our trips to the grocery store. But we can't solve the whole problem. We can only do our part. So that's one thing. You can change the way you feel about the problem, right? So we call this also reframing the problem. So is there something about this that you can take a different perspective, maybe look and see what you are gaining from this situation or how this benefits you, how this is shifting your perspective, and change the way you feel about it so that your experience of the problem isn't entirely negative. You also always have the choice to stay miserable. That's always a possibility. And in that case, nothing really changes. You can also choose to make it worse, perhaps by using habitual patterns of behavior that numb us out, like drinking or using substances or emotionally eating, engaging in past negative behaviors, right? Those are all ways we can make our current problem worse. We also can make this problem worse by continuing to go out and get people together in big groups, setting boundaries around that and choosing what's right for our family is a way to not make it worse. And the 5th way to deal with distress here is to accept it. So to accept the reality of our current situation. And then because we accept it, we can do something about it, right? So if we accept the reality of our current situation, then we can choose to stay home, or we can make whatever adaptations are possible in our current situation. But until we accept the reality of a situation, we're just going to be like an ostrich with their head in the sand, denying what's going on around us and not actually able to take any action. So we'll just keep doing the same old stuff that we were always doing, which really is not going to benefit us in this situation. So acceptance, radical acceptance, accepting over and over and over again is huge right now. So our 4 skills this week are based, again, in the 4 different modules of DBT. So our mindfulness skill for this week is to revisit the 3 states of mind. So there's emotion mind, reasonable mind, and then wise mind, where they intersect, okay? So emotion mind is when we are so in our emotions that our emotions drive our behaviors. Everything is based on how we feel. And then reasonable mind is where we check the facts and we look at all the data and the research that's being done. And then wise mind is where we make a decision, both validating our emotions and checking the facts. So when can you notice what state of mind you're in? Practice being non-judgmental. So don't judge the state of mind you're in. Don't judge how you feel. Try and notice one thing at a time. Do one thing at a time. This is called being one-minded. Can you just do the dishes when you're doing the dishes? Like, can you just sweep the floors? Can you just do the laundry? Can you just pay attention to your children, right? I know there's so much being thrown at us right now. There's a ton of like media exposure. There's social media. There's keeping up with the homeschooling. There's keeping up with work. Trying to do one thing mindfully in each moment, right? It's impossible to do it all. Multitasking in our current state can get really, really overwhelming and increase anxiety. Just choose to do what's the most effective thing in each situation, right? Can you choose the action that you know will get you the best outcome? And maybe that means if you're having a disagreement with somebody, taking space from that person until you calm down and you can come back and be more communicative in trying to express your concerns, right? Do what will work. So that's our Module 1 mindfulness skills. 3 states of mind. Notice what state of mind you're in. Be non-judgmental, one-minded, and effective. Our second group of skills is distress tolerance. So this week's distress tolerance skill I've abbreviated with the acronym ACEs. So activities, contributing, finding opposite emotions, and other sensations. Activities can be anything. It can be something creative. It can be going out for a walk. It could be painting a picture. It could be cooking. Finding any distraction through an activity, right? We're really looking for distraction skills this week. So what kind of activities could you do to distract yourself? People are having at-home spa days, painting their nails, coloring, watching a movie. How can you distract yourself from that anxiety spiral that ends us in a red zone mind state when we're so dysregulated that we can't even make a decision? So how can you kind of shift your mindset and just distract yourself from all that stuff? It's not denial, it's distraction so that you don't get so upset you can't even think, okay? So think of some activities that you can do to distract. How can you contribute? The C is for contributing to others. Can you call a friend and ask them how they're doing? Can you check in with your partner? Can you text a neighbor? Maybe you're going out shopping and you check on an elderly neighbor and see if they need some groceries that you could drop on their front doorstep, right? How can you contribute to other people right now? Get your mind off your own stuff and help someone else. Opposite emotions. So noticing the emotion you have, it might be fear, it might be anxiety, it might be sadness, it might be lethargy, it might be constantly worried. Notice what negative emotion you're finding yourself getting sucked into and think of something you can do that would create the opposite emotion. So watch a comedy, break out some old Adam Sandler movies, pick out some stand-up comedy on Netflix. I really enjoy Eliza Schlesinger. I'm totally messing up her name, I'm sure, but she's freaking hilarious, right? I laugh so hard I cry. Find a comedian like that you really connect to and that they're going to make you laugh. There's some really great comedians out there. And when you put on a funny movie or watch a funny video, it creates the same experience in your body, that counteracts the anxiety experience, right? Your body reacts to, and when we watch the news, we're experiencing vicarious trauma. When you watch a comedy or funny movie, get some vicarious joy and hilarity going on for yourself, right? Create the opposite emotion. And then other sensations is going to another intense sensation. Maybe it's loud music, running your hands under cold water, holding an ice cube, putting an ice pack on the back of your neck, taking a hot shower, right? Going to those other intense sensory experiences that can snap you out of that anxiety spiral, okay? So distract yourself with activities contributing opposite emotions and other sensations. Then we move over to emotion regulation. So for this week, I want you to remember that you are not your emotion. Your emotions are temporary. Emotions will rise and fall. They will come and go. You have felt differently in the past. You will feel differently in the future. Don't turn your feelings into facts. So feeling lonely right now, which is a very normal part of this isolated experience, doesn't mean that you are alone. Just because you feel lonely, it doesn't mean you're alone. We're all in this together. Connect with friends. Get on a virtual happy hour, virtual coffee date. Have a virtual dinner party. FaceTime somebody. Connect with the people in your house, right? Just because you feel lonely, you are not alone. Be mindful that you don't judge your emotions, okay? Can you bring that mindfulness and acceptance and non-judgment into how you perceive your emotional experience, right? It's totally valid to be super anxious and worried right now. That's a totally valid experience. Don't judge your emotions. Accept your emotions. It's okay to sit in the uncomfortable, as my friend Allison says. And sit with that and just watch it rise and fall, right? The emotion will pass. You will feel differently. Emotions are temporary. And our last group of skills this week is interpersonal effectiveness. So for this week, I invite you to try using I statements. So when you use an I statement, instead of saying, you make me feel, you want to actually look at it and say, I feel this way when this happens. So for example, I'll use everybody in my house picking up after themselves. I'd say like, hey guys, I feel so much better when the house is like picked up and clean and organized. So can we all pitch in with that? Instead of saying, you never pick up after yourself, you guys leave this a mess for me, and I have to clean it up after everybody else, and that makes me really mad, and you make me mad, and you make me feel this way, right? Do you see how, hey guys, I feel so much better when everything's picked up in the house and it's organized and we're all pitching in, is a totally different experience. When you say you make me feel, it puts blame on the other person and the other person tends to get defensive. When you say I feel, it gives you ownership of your feelings and the other person's more likely to listen to you because you're speaking from a place of how you feel instead of blaming them. Additionally, I invite you to try and use active listening. So when you're listening to, say, for example, your partner speaking and expressing how they're feeling about things right now, try and just listen to them and take in what they're saying. See if you can rephrase what they're saying. Pick maybe an emotion to reflect back to them and say, hey, I hear you. You sound really scared about what's going on right now. Instead of, half listening to them, but sort of thinking about how you feel and how it's impacting you. Right? So a lot of times when we listen to people, we're just thinking about ourselves and when getting ready to interject the thing that's similar about us because we're always looking about relating to each other. Relating is really valuable, but it also keeps you in your own stuff. So think about how you can really hone in and listen to them and reflect back to them that you understand how they're feeling. Practice validation from last week as well. So those are our 4 skills for today. Additionally, a few anxiety management techniques for you to try. We did 3-part breath in the beginning of our time together today. I also invite you to try alternate nostril breathing. So you'll take your thumb and place it against your right nostril and then have your middle finger ready for your left nostril. Inhale through your left nostril. Hold. Exhale out your right. Inhale through your right. hold, exhale out your left. Inhale left, hold, exhale right, inhale right, hold, exhale left. And you can continue that for as long as you like, and when you're done, inhale through both nostrils and exhale out your mouth. And you may want to do that a couple times to refresh yourself. Continue to practice focusing on your exhales, taking long exhales out your mouth, sighing whenever you need throughout the day. Another anxiety management technique that I really like, I posted it on my Instagram, a little mini video of this. I think it's on my Instagram TV, so you can follow me there at JamieHanley_. But grounding through the senses is really powerful. So if you feel that panic starting to set in, ground yourself through the senses. Look around the room that you're in and find 3 things you can see. Name them and label them. So I can see a lamp, a tissue box, and a Buddha. Name 3 things you can hear. I can hear the rain outside, the birds, and my clock ticking. And then 3 things you can touch. I can touch my shirt, I can touch my chair, and I can touch my desk. Continue that so you find 2 more things you can see that are different and new, 2 more things you can hear that are also different and new, which is kind of hard sometimes, and 2 more things you can touch. Then do 1 more thing you can see, 1 more thing you can hear, and 1 more thing you can touch. So when you really start to feel like that panic and overwhelm and anxiety set in, ground yourself through your senses. Take in sensory information, sight, sound, and touch, and see if you can downregulate your nervous system. So you can make some notes on the worksheet that I added here for you guys, and let me know how this stuff is working for you. Feel free to reach out. You can message me on Instagram or Facebook. And if you need additional support, reach out. I can certainly give referrals. If you're not one of my clients, I can help you find connections to mental health services if you need that. And please continue to meet me here on Wednesdays at noon as we learn more coping skills. I'll be presenting new skills every week. Thank you so much for meeting me here. May you be at peace, and may you be well, and may you be safe. Take care.